Hello, folks. This is Jack here, back with more Buzzword, academic style. 48 questions, two of which are going to be computational math questions, which I'll just kind of flail at. Throw some numbers out there, see what happens. Uh, Buzzword replicates the Quiz Bowl toss-up experience. So the questions are going to have clues that go from more obscure to more well-known. And the sooner you buzz in and get it right, the more points you get. These are questions from 2020, I think was this go round, and these are the last week of this set. So let's see if we can finish off strong. Here we go.
The cycle of this process involves the binding of troponin to an ion stored in the sarcoplasmic reticulum. In this process's power stroke, myosin moves actin filaments inward. Slow twitch and fast twitch.
Okay. I guess I want a contraction. I should have put something at the end there. Maybe they'll give me that. Maybe not. That's on me, though. I should have just put something on there. I knew they said the process, and muscle is not a process.
In this novel, a woman wears a black bandage after burning her hand in penance for causing Pietro Crespi's suicide. Okay. Amaranta Ursula appears in this novel, set in Macondo, which opens with
Macondo. I know where 100 Years of Solitude was set. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. 100 Years of Solitude. Set in Macondo. Magic realism, yo.
In this city, Dick Rowland was accused of assaulting elevator operator Sarah Page.
This is Tulsa. That's what started the Tulsa massacre. As has, in the past, 5 years, has become a part of history again. But yeah, the alleged assault, I forget, they may have said alleged, elevator operator supposedly doing something untoward is what started that whole thing.
If the degree of a polynomial is this type of number, the polynomial must have at least one real root. The sum of consecutive examples of these numbers, starting from 1, makes a perfect square. All prime numbers beside 2 are, for 10 points.
Oh, odd. Okay. I think so. In the other one, it was odd functions. This one's odd numbers. You can see the difference in difficulty between C and B.
In this novel, a gust of wind fells a sycamore the protagonist has spent 2 days trying to chop down. Reuben Pritchard falls on his own axe in this novel.
Reuben Pritchard.
An Ozarks boy named Billy hunts raccoons in.
Okay. Don't recall that. Oh, yeah, because they chopped down the tree. So the way they hunt the raccoons is he has some dogs, and the dogs chase the raccoon up the tree. Then they just cut the tree down. So he must have spent 2 days trying to cut down that tree with the treed raccoon in it. And I don't remember the overall plot. I think it's just... Do his dogs get... I think the dogs... I know at the end the dogs defend him from a bear, and that's why they die. And they're buried, and then the red fern grows above their graves, and that's where the red fern grows. That's where the title comes from.
This country's city of Cajamarca was the site of a lopsided 1532 Spanish military victory. A popular tourist site in this country was explored in the early 20th century by Hiram Bingham.
So that's Peru. Talking about Machu Picchu. Hiram Bingham, Machu Picchu. Incan masterpiece of a city.
In this capital city, Imre Nagy led an anti-Soviet uprising that was crushed by a Warsaw Pact invasion in 1956. This city was Vienna's co-capital for most of the dual monarchy. In 1873, two cities across the Danube River combined to form, for 10 points.
Right. It's Budapest. Because there's Buda and Pest. They just said, hey, this is a big one country, or one city. It'll be, the people on the Pest side must have been like, hey, how about Pest Buda? That's a good name, right? We could do Pest Buda? Pest Buda? And now, Budapest. Budapest won out.
A mythical flying one of these animals, named Chrysamelos, saved Phrixus and Helle from the treachery of Ino. One of these animals that was born in 1996 is named Dolly and was the first cloned.
Oh, a sheep. What was the Eno? I don't even know what myth that was. That could have been Celtic myth, actually. Or is it maybe been Chinese? I don't know. Mythical sheep, huh? That was a good one. I can at least like zero in on what mythos it's from. I want to say that was Celtic myth. I think I'm wrong.
Gauss's law relates the electric flux through a closed surface and the value of this quantity inside the surface. By balancing the drag and gravity on an oil droplet, Robert Millikan measured this quantity.
It's just the charge. It's the oil drop experiment. Millikan determined the charge of the electron. With that,
in a 2018 match, this athlete was given a code violation based on illegal hand signals and ultimately lost to Naomi Osaka. This athlete has won an open era record 23.
Yeah, it was that Serena. They said Naomi Osaka, which I think was harder back then. But yeah, it was Serena. Recently retired. Retired earlier this year.
Poor women from this city serve as the chorus of T.S. Eliot's play Murder in the Cathedral. Oh. April showers are described in a general prologue that introduces the wife of Bath.
Yeah. Yeah, Death in the Cathedral, and Canterbury is a cathedral town. So if you're at a level B, if you're talking about a cathedral town, it's going to be Canterbury, and then they go into the Canterbury Tales with the wife of Bath.
At this battle, Thomas Mullins forgot to bring important anti-rampart ladders. Edward Pakenham died while storming cotton bale fortifications at this battle, in which Jean Lafitte's pirates aided the winners. Andrew Jackson won.
Oh, it's Battle of New Orleans. Lafitte, the pirate king of New Orleans. Andrew Jackson won it. That was a battle he won after the war was over. The War of 1812. They signed a peace agreement, and the Battle of New Orleans happened after that peace agreement was signed. But yeah, news took time back then. Didn't have text messaging or faxing. You know, the hot ways that people communicate these days. Faxes and text messages.
A philosopher with this surname was the first European to record the formula for gunpowder in his Opus Maius. The idol of the marketplace was discussed in the Novum Organum, a book by another thinker with this.
I think this is Bacon. Yeah, so it's Roger Bacon and the other Bacon. Who's the other Bacon? Kevin. No, it's not Kevin. Are they both Roger Bacon? I think there are two Roger Bacons. Roger Bacon, who was a playable character in the original Shadow Hearts game. That game was wild.
The highest offense in this country is known by a term meaning spreading corruption on earth. In 2020, this country executed a man accused of spying on Quds Force commander Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a 2020 drone strike. For 10 points, name this country, led by Ayatollah Khamenei. This process is slowed down by formation of a film in the Leidenfrost effect.
Alright. Feel good about that one. That's a first clue, Buzz. So Leidenfrost is interesting. It's when you put a drop of a liquid on an extremely hot surface. you would think that it would make it boil faster, but it gets to a point where the drop hits and it forms a gas barrier between the rest of the drop and the hot surface, so that insulates the rest of the drop, and so it makes it take longer for it to boil off. It's a weird thing. That's why when if you ever have a really hot pan when you're cooking and you put some water on it, the water flitters around before it evaporates. That's because of the Leidenfrost effect.
An economically interdependent version of this policy was a goal of the Boskop ideology. This policy was implemented by Daniel Milan's government as an expansion of the pass laws. ANC members such as Nelson Mandela opposed for...
Okay. Yeah, interesting. I guess there are other forms of that. All right.
A song by this performer imagines when Hank brings the sermon and when Cash leads the choir. She sings So Pull Me Closer, Why Don't You Pull Me Close in a collaboration with Zed and Gray. For 10 points, what pop country artist sang My Church and was the main vocalist on The Middle?
I have no idea who this is at all. Maren Morris. I knew it was Maren. I knew there was somebody named Maren out there. It was the wrong half that I needed, but oh, that's bonkers. That's what I get for following Jason Isbell on Twitter, I guess. He's my only window into current country music.
Pencil and paper ready. Ugh. Sandro is buying cheese that is priced at $7.70 per pound and needs to know the total cost of buying 4 pounds. By realizing that 4 times 0.70 is just 1/10 of 4 times 7, he computes, for 10 points, what cost for 4 pounds of cheese.
What? I shouldn't be able to do this. I was close. Without actually doing the math. Sandro looking from Bake Off maybe there. It's weird. I just watched the finale of Sandro's season. not 20 minutes ago. That's funny.
A slum in this city is the home of Benitha and other members of the Younger family. In a 1906 novel, Jurgis works in this city's stockyards.
That's got to be the Jungle then. Oh, the Younger family from Raisin in the Sun. Yeah, the Youngers were in a Raisin in the Sun. But the last one was the Jungle.
In the colonial era, millions of indigenous people died mining this material from the mountain that eats men near Potosi.
Ooh.
Unlike doubloons, Spanish pieces of 8 were made from this material. Argentina takes...
Oh, it's silver then. Argentum is silver in Latin. So taking Latin in college pays off. It's really just one big vocabulary class.
This composer adapted Baroque music that was incorrectly attributed to Giovanni Pergolesi in his ballet Pulcinella. Václav Nijinsky choreographed this composer's ballet depicting a sacrificial dance of death in pagan Russia. For 10 points, name this composer of The Rite of Spring.
I should be able to. Stravinsky, yeah. Yep. Just didn't have it up there.
These places' use of a banking model was criticized by Paulo Freire. A constructivist approach to these places emphasizes direct experience and is used...
Okay, I'll take that. Montessori was most likely going to be said in the next 3 to 5 seconds of that question, I would guess.
This city's metro area is home to the largest contiguous restricted airspace in the U.S.
I'm just going to take a guess at this. Oh, okay. That's an interesting... Why El Paso? Is this on the border? I guess. Huh. Well, I shot my shot. I feel like Washington, D.C. is a pretty good guess there. I think there's a lot of restricted airspace around Washington, D.C.
The Earth usually has 4 of these bands at the boundaries of the Hadley, Ferrel, and polar cells. These narrow currents flow near the tropopause, several miles above Earth's surface. For 10 points.
Jet streams? Okay. Not quite the Gulf Streams. I think the Gulf Stream is just one of the jet streams, so we'll take that.
This man won a Nobel Prize for an experiment that used a fistula to monitor the salivary gland.
Yeah, it's Pavlov. The salivary glands of dogs. And study classical conditioning. Pavlov. If you like dogs, don't read about the details of that experiment.
To save the daughter of Leodegrance from being burned at the stake, this man kills Gaheris and Gareth. He sleeps with the daughter of the Fisher King, Elaine of Corbenic.
Okay, so let's just put that out there. Okay. The overlaps. The overlaps are real. You can tell. You forgot the order in which I played the week 6 level C and the week 6 of level B. Always fun.
This case's plaintiff, who was later paid to join Operation Rescue, was Norma McCorvey. Harry Blackman's majority opinion in this case established a trimester regulatory.
This doesn't... I don't think this is right. Oh, it was. Okay. Because Roe is actually a pseudonym. I don't think most people realize that about Roe v. Wade. She's Jane Roe instead of Jane Doe. I forget why in that case they needed to go to Roe. I read about that once, a while back, but I forget why.
Julie Andrews has a cameo in this film as the voice of the monstrous Carathen. In this film, the villainous David Kane is given armor by Orm, the half-brother of the protagonist Arthur Curry. For 10 points, name this 20...
Arthur Curry, he's Aquaman. I don't watch DC movies for the most part. despite my nerdiness. So I never saw Aquaman. I guess I watched the ones that have Harley Quinn in them. And that's pretty much it. Because I watched The Last Suicide Squad. And I watched Birds of Prey or The Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I'm not sure if that's the adjective for emancipation, but it's something like that.
This molecule is oxidized to nitric acid in the Ostwald process. Rhizobia bacteria and the root nodules of legumes synthesize this molecule from nitrogen and hydrogen.
Okay, so it was urea. Oh, ammonia. Nope, ammonia makes so much more sense. Ammonia makes so much more sense. Urea has oxygen in it. Darn. Oh, missing the chemistry ones. That's when it hurts.
This novel's protagonist is entrusted with a packet of letters by Wilson, who later nurses the protagonist's head injury. In this novel...
I'm just gonna take a shot. It's a pretty famous head injury. It's a title head injury when it comes down to it.
An ancient version of this structure was built by Nico II and Darius the Great near Zagazig. Lester Person mediated a crisis when it was nationalized by
Okay. I didn't realize there was a earlier version of it? Huh. I mean, I guess it's not unreasonable for a ancient civilization to be able to build Suez Canal. Panama Canal, that was nearly impossible for the time they did build it.
The aeolian transport of this material can form large, mostly flat areas called ergs. This
Ergs.
sediment has a grain size larger than silt, but smaller than pebbles.
Is this sand? It sounded a lot like sand.
In this play, a song repeating "Hey ho, the wind and the rain" is sung by the full Feste. A woman in
we're in
this play
Shakespeare.
disguises herself as the page Cesario.
Okay. Oop. Why did I put a K in there? I don't know why I put a K in there. It's 12th night. They'll give me that. It's phonetically the same. Why did I do that? I don't even know.
While this man was prime minister, the terrorist 7/7 bombings killed over 50 people in his country's capital. In 1997, this politician led the Labour Party to its largest general election victory ever.
That was Blair back then? Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think Tony Blair was the PM at the turn of the millennium.
The name of this country's most populous ethnic group translates as large sycamore tree. Most of the Kikuyu people live in this country, which
Kikuyu.
shares its name with the second highest mountain in Africa. The port of Mombasa is in, for 10 points, what country governed from Nairobi?
Yeah, it's Mount Kenya. It's Mount Kenya, yep. I should have had that up in Mombasa. That's a big enough city that I should have had it. Oh well.
One of these shapes, called the Chok snowflake, is made by adding equilateral triangles to the edges of equilateral triangles. Another of...
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, those are just fractals. Yeah. They were describing a fractal, but I think the Hawk snowflake ends up being shaped like a star. I think if I was real Quiz Bowl, I think I would have gotten prompted there. I don't know if I would have actually come up with fractals, but I was not incorrect.
The title of a Laurie Stoller's series about the Wiccan Stacy Brown claims that this color is for nightmares. Lois Laurie's first sequel to The Giver is titled Gathering This Color. In a Scott Odell novel, Karana is left behind on an island named for dolphins.
Okay. Just give me something I can work with. Give me something I can work with. Island of the Blue Dolphins, you got it. I can work with that.
A holiday named for these people is celebrated on July 24th in Utah. A Walt Whitman poem calling these people tan-faced children with sharp-edged axes inspired the title of a novel about the Bergstrom family by Willa Cather.
Oh, pioneers. Accidental jokes.
This man and his family were arrested during the ill-fated flight to Verona. In protest of this man, a meeting was held at an indoor tennis court by the members of the Third Estate.
It's a tennis
the
court.
The husband of Marie Antoinette was
Louis XVI. Not even going to try for the Roman numerals. I can't do computational math. How could I do Roman numerals?
This man was the first client of the sports talent agency IMG. This athlete, whose fan base was known as his army, made up his sports 1960s Big Three with Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus. Mixing iced tea and lemonade creates...
Oh. Huh. All right. I thought we were in basketball for a little bit when they're talking about sports agents. But iced tea and lemonade, that's a Arnold Palmer.
Proteins targeted to this structure are tagged with mannose 6-phosphate. Proton pumps maintain this organelle at a pH of approximately 5 for proper functioning of its acid hydrolases. For 10 points, name this organelle that breaks down biomolecules and digests cellular waste.
That's a lysosome? It is. Okay. I thought it was. I should have just buzzed in and said it earlier because there wasn't. There's a thing where I knew which one they were talking about. I just wasn't sure the name was right. So at that point, you should just buzz in and say what you think the name is, because then the giveaway is not going to be anything unless they say like it starts with L.
This composer's E-flat major opus 10 number 11 was nicknamed for resembling a guitar with its numerous arpeggiated chords. The November uprising inspired this composer's revolutionary etude. For 10 points, what romantic pianist's many mazurkas and polonaises reflected his Polish heritage?
Yeah, Chopin. I knew Berlioz wasn't right, but I couldn't. Wasn't going to get to Chopin, even though that was obviously the answer.
This language was used to write the calendar poem Fasti, and an instructional poem titled The Art of Love. A poem in this language describing funeral rites for a dead brother coined the phrase hail and farewell. Ovid and Catullus wrote in.
Yeah. Almost said Greek there for a second. One of my classes, the entirety of one of my Latin classes in college was just studying Catullus's poetry, just as a way to figure out the grammar and language and whatnot. So it's just an entire trimester just on Catullus and his poems.
In this city, a statue of industrialist John Cockerell can be found in the Place de Luxembourg, a square in its European quarter. This city's Espace Léopold houses the main meeting site of the European Parliament. The headquarters of NATO are in, for 10 points.
Where are they?
What capital of Belgium?
Okay. That took too long. That took too long to access. Getting old.
A force that is conservative has a namesake function for this energy. For gravity near Earth's surface, this energy equals mass times the acceleration due to gravity times height.
No, okay. I was like, what did I do? I spelled energy. I put too many G's in this time. Pulling too many G's.
The winning side of this battle simultaneously fought a naval clash against Themistocles at Artemisium. Ephialtes revealed a secret path at this battle.
Yeah. Thermopylae. Look at me that.
2020 protests against this man adopted the song Koichu Peremien by Victor Tsoi as an anthem. This dictator, in power since 1994, announced a large win against Svetlana Tikhanovskaya. Widespread factory strikes and protests erupted against, for 10 points, what president of Belarus?
Nah, I don't remember this guy's name. I think he's still president. Yeah, Lukashenko. Yep, that's his name. Didn't have it.
Pencil and paper ready.
Oh no, this is how we're going out?
Has a wire that is 6 feet long and needs to know how many short wires can be created from it if each short wire has a length of 8 inches. By first computing the number of inches in 6 feet, then dividing by 8, she finds, for 10 points, how many short wires.
Oh, it's just 9. Oops. I did the math almost right. Well, that's it. That's going to be it for all of these practice level Bs. Hope you had fun watching. If you want to play some of this yourself, play some Buzzword yourself, you can head over to neqt.com/buzzword and see if they have any games going. That's it for this whole academic practice. Maybe I got better. I don't know. It's all about getting those old muscles, all those old brain muscles going. Anyway, thanks for watching. Got a bunch more videos on the channel. Please subscribe and check out the other videos. We'll see you later. Bye.